Greetings, writers. It is now time to practice a little cursive writing and learn how to form our letters correctly. We are going to begin with the letter I, lowercase I. First, you start at the bottom line, the solid line. I call this the ground. You're going to go up to the dotted line. Start at the bottom line. Draw a line that goes slightly to the right and lift your line up to the dotted line. I call it going up the hill. Then go back down the hill, stay on the hill until you get back down to the ground, and then make your tail. Finally, pick up your pencil and dot your I. Now notice how my I is slightly slanted. So when you're going up the hill, slightly slant your line. Make a slanted line. You don't have to go straight up the hill. Hills usually are curved as such. They don't go straight up and down. Okay? So we want a diagonal line going up. But when you come down the hill, remember, you want to stay on the hill. That means stay on the line that you went up and come down on that same line. Do not separate from that line until you get to the ground. Then make the tail and dot your I. Here it is again. Now, pause the video and you try. Our next letter is letter T, lowercase t. With lowercase t, you start off just like the letter I. Start at the bottom line. From the left, move your pencil or pen to the right, then lift up. And this time I call it the mountain because T is a tall letter. It's kind of like your pencil is an airplane. You have to roll down the runway before you lift up for takeoff. Now come down the mountain on the same line that you went up the mountain on. Stay on that line until you are back on the ground. Then make your tail. Finally, pick up your pencil or pen and cross your T from left to right because we are writing in the direction from left to right. Therefore, we want to cross our T in that direction so that we can write smoothly and fluently. Let's try that T again. Get in your airplane, prepare for takeoff, go down the runway, and lift up the mountain. Now notice I'm not going straight up. I'm making a diagonal line up. Now come down on the mountain, stay on the line until you get to the very bottom or the ground. Then make your tail. Finally, cross your T from left to right, and you're crossing on the dotted line. Here is T one more time. Now pause the video and you practice making your own T's. Our next letter is lowercase u. Lowercase u is like putting two I's together and not dotting them. Here's an example. Start at the ground, prepare for takeoff, head down the runway and lift up. This time you're climbing a hill because it's a lowercase letter and you want to stop at the dotted line. Now come down the hill on the same line you went up on. When you get to the ground, make the tail, but don't stop. Go into your next I. Come down on the hill and then make the final tail. Notice that the tail is not as tall as the U, or for that matter, as the I or the T. The tail should be slightly shorter. Here's a U again. Make your first I, come down, make your second I, come down, make your tail. Here it is one more time. Up the hill, down on the same line until you get to the ground, and go up the hill again, and then down, and make your tail. Now you practice making your U's. And as an added bonus, circle your best U when you finish. Now pause the video. Our next cursive letter is W. And W is a lot like the I again. Make 3 I's this time. And then we'll make a special type of tail. Watch. Start on the ground, prepare for takeoff, you're on the runway, and lift up the hill, making your first I. Come down on that very same line and go up again, making your second I. Come down on that same line again and go up for the last I. Now watch this tail. I'm not going all the way down back to the ground. I'm going to make a happy face tail. I go down that hill just a little bit, and then I make a little happy face there, never picking up my pencil until I'm completely done. Here it is again. Make my first I, second I, third I, come down that hill just a little bit, and make your happy face tail. Please watch me make the cursive W one more time. Now you make a row of W's and circle your best one last. Pause the video and you try. Our next letter is cursive J. A J starts off like the letter I. Watch. Go up to make your I up the hill because we're stopping on the dotted lines. Come down, straight down. Don't worry about staying on the hill anymore. Drop all the way down below the bottom line. Go under the ground. Then you're going to curve up like you're making the letter G. But you're not going to stop there. Continue going up until you get to the ground again. Cross the 2 lines and finish up with a tail. Then pick up your pencil and dot your J. That is a lowercase j. Here it is again. Go up, slanted line like an I, straight down. Just going to jump off that hill. Then make a G at the bottom, but keep on looping up. Cross the lines at the ground and make your tail. Finally, pick up your pencil and dot your J. Here is another J, one more time before you try. Notice how the J drops down to the very next line. Now you pause the video and try. Our next letter is the lowercase e. Let's practice making this in cursive. You're going to start at the ground or the bottom line, and just like the I, prepare for takeoff, go down the runway and lift for takeoff. But when you get to the dotted line, you're going to loop around like you're on a roller coaster. And then you're going to end with a tail. That's the lowercase cursive e. Here it is again. Go up like you're making an I, but instead of making a point, loop around like you're on a roller coaster, and then make a tail. Notice this loop. I do not cross the other line until I'm back down as close as I can get to the ground. Here it is again. Go up like an I, loop around, but don't cross, don't cross, don't cross until you're at that ground again. Then cross your lines and make the tail. Here's that E one last time. Try not to have a large bubble there. Your E should not look like this. That is a no-no. Start with a slanted line like that I, then loop around, but don't cross until you're at the bottom, then make the tail. Now pause the video and you try. Our next letter is cursive L. L is a lot like the E. It's another roller coaster ride, but we're going to stop at the solid line at the top because L, like the T, is a tall letter. Watch. Start at the bottom, prepare for takeoff, go down the runway, and lift up, making a diagonal line. You're climbing up that mountain, but you're going to loop around like you're on a roller coaster when you get to that top line. Come down, do not cross the lines until you're back on the ground. Then make the tail. Notice my loop is not too large or too skinny. Let's try that again. Please watch. Start at the ground, lift up, make a diagonal line, loop around, don't cross until you're at the bottom, and then tail. Here it is again. Again, please pay special attention to where I crossed my lines. I am not crossing my lines up here. That is a no-no. I don't cross my lines until I'm all the way back down on the ground. Then I can cross and make the tail. Now you practice your cursive L's, circling your best one last. Our next letter is cursive B. You're going to start off like you're making the L, loop around like you're on that roller coaster. And then when you come down to the ground, you're going to lift back up and come in and make a happy face tail going out. Now, notice when I came in, I almost touched that loop, but I still left a little tiny space there. Make sure you do the same. Here's the B again. Make your L, come down, but when you touch the ground this time, go straight up, and then come in just a little bit like you're going to touch that loop, and make your happy face tail going out. I call it a happy face tail because it does not touch the ground, and it looks like a little happy face inside of a happy face circle. Here's that B again. Now you try. Make a row of B's and circle your best one last. Pause the video. Now it's time to write some words. Let's see if you can read the words in cursive. Here's the first word. Do you know what that says? You're right. It. You make your I, come down, make the tail, and go right into the T and make the tail. Do not pick up your pencil or pen until you're done with the word. Last but not least, dot your I and cross your T. I'm sure you've heard that saying, make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. That means do your best. Here it is one more time. Now you try. And stay tuned for part 2 for more words.